these players win a championship as the best player on their team?
Or can these players be the best player on the championship winning team?
That too.
Just use that one.
Right. First player, John Morant.
Oh,
Can John Morant be the best player on a championship winning team?
Bro, you know how I feel about this man. I'm gonna say no right now. I'm gonna say it's not enough. Right
Why?
now, from what I've seen. I don't know, bro. I was higher on him before. I still think he's a top talent in the NBA. Don't get me wrong, but once we get to the upper echelon of players, who I'm gonna give the leeway to now, Ja doesn't cut it for me right now. From stuff I've seen in the playoffs, from stuff I've seen during the regular season, he can do amazing things. His ceiling is really, really high in my opinion. But when it comes down to it, I can't put all my eggs in the basket, if that makes sense, or put all my chips in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some hesitations or questions.
What about you, Bess? Do you think Ja can win a chip as the best player?
I honestly, I hate these questions because the NBA is so talented now. Like you could have a good enough team around him, and I believe that he could do it. I don't think that. I think his talent is to the level where he could be, but you would just need more talent around him than someone like a Giannis or something.
I mean, most teams don't have crazy talented teams. Like Celtics are like an anomaly where they drafted two.
I mean, I would argue that the Thunder have a crazy talented team. Like, and Shea, he is one of the best players in the league. But if you let's say you replace Shea with Ja and then just upgrade the rest of the roster a little bit more, I think they could win a championship. I think they could.
I think they could.
You replace.
Are you sleeping on Ja? Are you sleeping on Ja?
I feel like SJ is in another tier of John Morant.
Yeah, but that's why I said you got to upgrade the rest of the team.
But you got to replace them and then upgrade. There's possibilities.
Upgrade who?
Just slightly across the board, like better big man or something. You swap, or you get another power forward, or you get another guard. I don't know, another scoring guard to help you out instead of Aaron Wiggins off the bench. You get a better player. I don't know,
like Jordan Clarkson or something.
I don't even know if that's an upgrade, but yeah, somebody better, somebody that's just helps the team more. Like I think they need some more big man help, like a Miles Turner. Add him to the team, and then swap Ja for Shea. Maybe throw another wing defender on the team.
But see, that makes the team overpowered, bro.
Well, you're replacing an MVP player. What do you mean?
You can have.
But I'm saying they could win a chip. They get a Miles Turner and another good wing defender, like Aaron Neesmith.
It has to make sense as to how they get a Miles Turner.
Do they have 8 billion first round picks?
Dude, Miles Turner's not some super talented players. What you think? He's not crazy.
He's also not
the reason why the SGA Thunder work is because they've played together for a while and they built up the team from the ground up.
This is theoretical, though. I'm just saying.
This is theoretical. They would be with each other for 2 or 3 years at least.
Because the question is,
I still don't think John, what's his name?
Wow.
Miles Turner would win a chip, even if they upgrade the team.
But it's you're looking at it as 2 players. It's a whole team thing. The NBA, the NBA nowadays, it's more team oriented than it's ever been because the league is too talented to where back in the day you could get away with having one of the top 5 best players in the game, and then guys that are okay around him and get away with getting to the finals. We've seen LeBron do it. He talked about it recently where he just elevated all the guys around him enough to get him to a finals. But nowadays, the NBA is way too talented for, I think, unless somebody's super, super generational for them to do that. Even a guy like Victor Wembanyama couldn't get his team to the playoffs. Even Giannis out here by himself, we are here sitting saying a guy like Giannis, bona fide top 20 player of all time, in first round exit inevitably, no matter what.
His roster is obviously depleted. Without him, that team is literally a lottery team. So
that's what he's saying. Nowadays, the curve is
talented because the team he's going up against ain't he played the Magic. No, I don't even know if they can beat them.
Even if Giannis had the same team in any NBA year, he's not.
Hassan, but the thing he's trying to say is nowadays you can't 1v5.
You can't 1v5. It doesn't matter nowadays. Back.
No, yes, it does. Yes, it does, Hassan. Yes, it does, Hassan. Yes, it does.
Okay, but teams back in the day, their superstars would carry the team. Now, it can't 1v5. It's not like that.
Okay, I hear that. But do you hear what I'm saying? If Giannis has the same team in any era, this team is not winning anything.
But they're getting further than they would this year.
What?
Well, the second round?
No, if you take Giannis and his team right now, take Dame away, just take the team they have now, just replace him with the same team that LeBron made that 2007 finals with, they would make the finals. That team is comparable.
Hassan, they would.
That team is very comparable.
Because LeBron and Giannis have two different play styles. LeBron elevates players, but through his
Giannis carries his team.
You can argue that his playmaking is the best attribute. Giannis is just domination. So he's just going to dominate, get his points, and no one else around him is going to be elevated.
They both lead to wins, though. Like LeBron leads to wins because he empowers his players. Giannis leads his team to wins because he's such a force that he opens up the floor for everyone, and they have to respect him, and everyone gets easier shots and has an easier time playing the game.
He still needs talent. Giannis needs talent on his team, rather where LeBron really doesn't need talent. He elevates players with his talent. Because Giannis,
different. If you're talking about the different era thing, it's not true. I don't agree with that.
I think that's more of an era thing, though, because I think nowadays you can't get away with just being the one talented guy, but back then you could. You see a guy like Larry Bird, who the Celtics are a bad example, but you get other players from the Eastern Conference that were just like the one best player on their team, like a Patrick Ewing or something like that. It's like, they made to what Eastern Conference Finals multiple times back in the day.
I compare Giannis to Shaq. Say Shaq in his era. Shaq needed another person, 1B to win, and that was Kobe.
Didn't he go and lose to Hakeem? Am I tripping? Didn't he lose to Hakeem in the finals? He took his team and he lost.
Yeah,
that's literally what would happen. Giannis would go all the way to the finals and maybe lose to a stacked team.
Penny Hardaway.
Eastern Conference.
Okay.
okay. One person that's just dominant in NBA history has never just straight up to take his team to the finals. Like LeBron elevates players. That's his whole thing. That's why he's one of the greatest ever, if not the greatest ever. But my whole point is you need some level of talent to get there. And I partially agree with your take. The league is talented, yes, but it can only take you so far. The Celtics, take the Celtics out of the equation from last year. One superstar player or two superstar players always take their teams or elevate their teams to the finals or to the winning chip. Even the Mavericks of last year, it was literally Luka and Kyrie that elevated that team to get to the finals. Without Luka, that team is not making the finals. One player in the playoffs can elevate you and take you all the way there, in my opinion.
Okay, well, let me bring it back to the original point because we're kind of getting off a tangent. So going back to the Ja thing, you don't need. I think nowadays you don't have to have a Giannis. You're trying to tell me you need a good squad to win, and I think Ja theoretically can be the best player on the team, and they can still win if their team is loaded. And I don't think the way that the Thunder, let's say theoretically, let's say he was on the Thunder, would acquire players like that. It's not out of the question. If let's say Ja was on the Thunder instead of Shea right now, they would have actual ways to get better players and improve the team. They would have a lot of draft picks, tradable contracts. So I know this is a super perfect scenario, but you're asking theoretically. Yeah, I think Ja theoretically can be the best player on a team because you also got to think about, all right, let's say Ja's not the best player on the team. We have to go get somebody that's better than him because let's say, okay, we know he can't win us a championship, him being number one. There is only 15 guys that you can go trade for. And if you trade for any of them, your team's going to be depleted. And at that point, your chances are probably the same with those two guys and bums versus Ja, and a bunch of really, really good players around him.
And a studded supporting cast.
It's at that point, you know what I mean? It's Ja's so good. He's at that level where if he's not the number one, the number ones that are above him, you're not going to be able to get them. And if you are, it's you're going to deplete the rest of your team. So
he's what I consider borderline. I consider Ja borderline.
In terms of NBA talent, I honestly don't think that there's any really overpowered teams. The Celtics are the only overpowered team that was constructed.
You don't think the Thunder are overpowered?
No, I think they just play really good basketball as a team, as a unit.
Yeah,
the players aren't overpowered. That's
so SGA is not overpowered.
No,
he's a really good player. He's a top 5 player in the NBA. But Jalen Williams is not overpowered. Chet Holmgren is not overpowered. The team is just placed very well together to the point where you can plug and place players, and that's how they're as good as they are right now. 6-5-1 team.
So if you don't think they're overpowered, they're just good. You don't think they're going to make it far, or they're still going to make it far because they play really good?
You have to be overpowered to make it far.
You just have to be better than everyone.
Hey, you tell me, do you think they're going to make it far?
They're not an overpowered team. OD everybody.
They're not overpowered players. The Celtics are, I don't know how the hell they got that roster.
You only have Celtics as OP. That's it.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I don't think if you look at the Thunder, if you look at the Thunder, they got outside of Shea, nobody on their team has any sort of credibility or pedigree before this season. They all built it up together. There was no we gonna trade for Derek White, we gonna trade for Drew Holiday, we gonna bring in Porzingis. These are all established players that have had all-star appearances. The Thunder, if you want to call them overpowered, it was all natural. They developed all these guys, so Yeah, you can't even get mad at it. Like
the Celtics are such a rare scenario because first off, you drafted 2 players and your team was already good beforehand, and then you like trade players every year. Like every 1 year you get Derek White, trade him for a first rounder.
Upgrade.
You lose. Next year you get Drew Holiday, you trade him. The other year you get Kristaps, and you get players that are on bad teams, and you can trade assets to get them from bad teams and make the team what it is right now. And so you really don't see those scenarios like happening. So those are like really special case scenarios. Other than that, like besides the Celtics from last year, there's always been, in my opinion, a superstar that elevates his team to get to the championship. So that's why I feel like you kind of need 1A players.
See, the thing about that too is like you said, the Celtics, and there's also just going to be years where there's going to be teams that don't have the OD player, the 2004 Pistons, right?
That's the only team you can name, though.
No, let me go through the
Jimmy Butler made it to the finals, and I don't think he's OD.
What happened? Yeah. He lost an overpowered player, a superstar.
That's LeBron freaking James. What?
Okay, that's why.
It's like that's arguably 1 or 2 players.
Superstars always win chips.
The thing is, though, right? To me, if you make the finals, like you could win it. Unless you get swept, like you have a chance to win the finals if you're in it.
Butler made it to the finals twice. He made it against the Lakers and the Nuggets.
Yeah, and he
literally did what you said like twice.
And he could have won both of them. Like they.
No. I don't think he could have won both. Dude, remember
there was not a sweep.
Bubble year when he was literally like resting on it.
Resting on the team was better. They could have won. Blame Pat Riley. That dude doesn't do shit. Don't blame Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the team wasn't good.
But that's what I'm saying. Like a guy who's like he took it. You know what I'm saying?
And you don't even think Jimmy Butler is a superstar, Gabe.
That's why. Like he's not. That's why I said it. He's not a superstar. Took his team to the finals. You got what I'm saying?
Yeah, he played pretty well. He played really well,
but he's not a superstar.
I'm talking about winning a championship.
But he got there. You said winning a chip or at least make it to the finals. So I gave you an example.
Is Jaylen Brown a superstar?
Took his team to 5. Sorry?
Is Jaylen Brown a superstar?
No, but Celtics are different case.
He's not.
They are.
He's just like he's like an all-star.
Jason Tatum's a superstar though.
Yeah, Tatum is.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think you. I mean, you need a superstar on the team.
Yeah.
But or a borderline superstar.
I think John Morant would classify in that superstar area. I don't think he's.
I think he's borderline, Hassan. I think if I had to put a stat, I don't want to be offensive, but I think he's borderline.
Who?
Ja. Yeah. For the take we're giving.
That's why I'm asking. Do you think he can be a 1A on a championship?
Damn, bro, we're on the first one out of 9 players. Jesus Christ.
We're just establishing a basis before we run through them.
I like it.
Well, I personally don't think Ja can be a 1A. It's due to him being a smaller point guard. I feel like made this point in the past.
I just think that way of thinking is just so like black and white.
I fully disagree with that take every time you bring it up. Like every time you say it, I'm like,
name another player besides Steph Curry in the last.
Why do I need to?
Years?
Why can't there be another one?
You're asking us to name in history when it's like the last fucking 20 years have been LeBron James. It's like, all right, dude, things change though. Things change. LeBron's 40. Like it's going stuff's going to start to change. If Shea wins a ring this year,
I see it.
If Shea
that's like old head narrative. You're like, that's like old head narrative.
How's it old head narrative?
That's like when the Joe's like, there's never going to be another GOAT or some shit.
Sorry.
You're like, it's old head narrative. They're like, name me someone. You're like, name me a hyper sensitive scenario niche like
if I haven't
anomaly.
Seen something happen, why would I believe it? And why would John Morant be the player that makes me believe it?
Not saying. I'm just talking about your take. The thing is, like, name me a small point guard that took it like something like MVP, took his team to the finals, something like that.
Yeah, I've only seen Steph do it in recent memory. And then what, like Isaiah Thomas? It's about it. And I don't think John Morant's that level of player, and he hasn't showcased anything that will make me believe that he will become one of those guys. So I personally think,
the thing you have to realize too is like the best team in the league,
Nash borderline
with the best overall team. There's only one team that wins the finals. So to say like, okay, just because he doesn't win a finals doesn't mean that he's not a superstar and not a 1A on a like finals team. You know what I mean? Like if they get there and they lose, all right, he can't win. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not that type of player. It just means the other team or the other player was a bigger superstar or a better player. That doesn't mean that he's not and that he can't win. Because you look at guys like I'm trying to think of somebody. Charles Barkley is a perfect example of this in NBA history. He is a 1A to the T, but he's never won a championship because in his era, guys like Jordan, Magic, Larry Bird. Like he's
He
not better
also
than
has
them.
the pedigree behind him being a 1A, an MVP, All NBAs, multiple All Stars. What has John Moran done for me to believe that he's a superstar right now?
That's a good point.
And that he can get to that level of what Charles Barkley was.
I think before the season he was on track. I think before the gun stuff he was definitely on track. I think a lot of shit slowed him down
2 years ago.
I think Hassan is saying only based off the flashes, to be honest. Like, he's seen the flashes, but like other than like pedigree, he doesn't have that yet.
And also what he's done in the playoffs.
It's not. The thing is, it's just not like, oh, he just forgot how to play. He's getting worse. Like, it's a lot of off the court stuff. He still has that talent. When he gets the full workload, he's able to do that.
Into account though, like we always bring up Zion Williamson. All the off the court stuff is the reason why he's not as good as he should be.
I mean, that is true, but
like life is a factor that we have to take into account for basketball.
So I have to like rank him lower because he's hood. Like, what am I doing? He's a thug. I'm not gonna do it because he's a thug.
Right now,
huh?